Hello, this demo is on relational web development. I'm going to show you two quick examples of building relational web applications entirely in SQL. You could use any SQL Server development environment to do this, but to make it more interesting, I'll be using the development environment that is itself a relational web application, written entirely in SQL. In the first example, I'll go ahead and connect to the SQL database. It could be anyone on the catalog. And you can see that stored procedures can be viewed right there. You see the markup text in the browser. Well, I can go ahead and run SQL if I want. I'll run two SQL statements together. I get back the two result sets. I can go ahead and look at the tables in the database, see the information on them, the field names. I could grab the field names, drag and drop them if I wanted to. Run it. It's very convenient for development. And I can see all the keys as well. I see them right in the tables. I see them there too. Grab a snapshot of what's in this table if I want. But right now I'm working with the stored procedures collection because that's the heart of this demo. Any stored procedure, it is possible, can be enabled as a web page or a web application. I'm going to go ahead and dock the environment into this control rather than docking controls in the environment. And I'll go ahead and look at this test page. I'm also going to show you side-by-side editing. I'll edit the page alongside itself. First I'll launch it as a web application right here. You can see there it is, test page. That's the title. All right. And there's the HTML and the SQL in it. Now, if I'm editing it, let's say I go ahead and take out a line. And I'll just comment it. And so quickly I can rebuild a relational web application. Alright, let's run it again. There it is without that line. You can see sure enough, the line's been commented. I'll put it back. Run the application again. And the line's back. We'll move on to a more complex example. This stored procedure is a template web application. You can make another one just by copying the stored procedure and the version of it. It is an instant messaging block. I no longer want to look at the script editor, so I'll hide that. And you can see it's got the SQL for some selecting HTML, the AJAX JavaScript, various things that you need on an instant messaging block. And this is what it looks like when it runs. Now to demonstrate it, I'll bring up a new instance. I'll go ahead and type a message with some exclamation points. I post it. You see it here, and sure enough you'll see it pop up in the other browser window by the AJAX stack. A lot of fun things can be done with blogs. You can put all kinds of content, pictures. You can put videos, nice videos next to each other, side by side. That's kind of interesting to do on YouTube. Blogs are fun. I'm going to close it. One more example I'll include is just about SQL Server development. And there's an interesting aspect to this. Here is a SQL Server specific stored procedure, but it can also be used for relational web development as a supporting sprock or a supporting relational class, if you will. I built this one a while ago, 2005, as you can see, and the reason for it at the time was that in SQL Server 2000, which is what most companies are using at the time, in the early version of 2005, there was a bug in the XML parser. You ran it enough times, a memory bubble ensued, and well, the server crashed. I don't know about a tree crashing in a forest, but I can tell you that when SQL Server crashes, it resounds to the end of the web and back. So I wrote an XML parser in SQL. It works around the issue at the time. I'll show you how it works. One thing you can do with this environment is just select SQL from anywhere. I'll select the example right out of the stored procedure. Usually stored procedures have example calls at the top. and I'll go ahead and run it. A lot of people probably recognize this sample table and the sample text from one of Microsoft's database. It's just an XML representation of it. I'm going to back it up and show you something else interesting with this store procedure. It also can parse multiple tables, delimited tables embedded in Scalar. So if I run this through, I'm going to get a couple of tables back. It does it as easily as it parses XML. Now, while the web development environment